It began not with a bang, but with a profound and unsettling silence. The usual hum of the Space Telescope Science Institute was gone. Dr. Eris Thorne stared at the main screen, coffee forgotten in his hand. The James Webb Space Telescope's data was flawless, too flawless. It was observing the Bootes void, a region already known for its emptiness. But this time the readings showed a silence so absolute it defied all probability. No background radiation, no quantum fluctuations, nothing. The instruments, the most sensitive ever built, registered a flat line. It was as if a cosmic eraser had scrubbed a hole in reality itself. The silence on the screen was deafening, an anomaly so fundamental it made the hair on Eris's arms stand on end. The team gathered, faces lit by the eerie data. Theories were whispered, dismissed. Sensor malfunction? No. Instrumental artifact? No. The silent patch remained, stubbornly fixed in the sky. This was not a discovery, it was a contradiction. The initial excitement faded, replaced by a creeping dread. What do you do when the universe itself stops making sense? Every test confirmed the same impossible truth. The silence was real. Eris finally broke the tension. Keep watching. Keep every instrument locked on that spot. Whatever this was, it felt like it was waiting. And as he spoke, he couldn't shake the feeling they were being observed. The silence was not an absence, it was a presence. The universe, for the first time, felt like it was looking back, and it was waiting for something. The silence held for 3 days. Then, on the 4th day, something moved. Within the perfect void, a new anomaly appeared, a shadow. A shape of pure blackness, darker than the void, drifted across the field of view. It was vast, the size of a small galaxy, yet emitted no light, no heat, no radiation. It didn't bend light like a black hole, it simply blotted out the nothingness behind it. The control room erupted. This was no longer a passive phenomenon, it was an object that defied every known classification. It had mass, moved deliberately but had no other discernible properties. The team called it the Shade. It maneuvered, changing speed and direction with impossible precision. These were not random motions, they were controlled, guided. Anything that can maneuver must have intelligence. The shadow in the void was not just an object, it was a vessel. The Shade seemed aware of them. When they focused sensors on it, it would subtly alter its course, as if turning to face the observer. The act of observation was influencing the observed. Humanity had peered into the abyss, and now, the abyss was staring back. The Shade was not just present, it was responding. The universe had become a two-way mirror, and something on the other side was waving. The Shade was a wrecking ball aimed at the laws of physics. It changed direction without any visible propulsion. No energy signature, no gravitational wake. It moved as if the laws of motion were mere suggestions. Theoretical physicists were baffled. Dark matter? No. Dark energy? No. It was physically present yet intangible to all known forms of measurement. The most baffling discovery. The Shade manipulated space-time itself. It wasn't flying through space, it was pulling space along with it. This was technology or power, beyond anything humanity could imagine. The universe they thought they knew was incomplete. The Shade was proof that there were forces at play far beyond human comprehension. Dr. Thorne looked up at the night sky, feeling vulnerable. We were not alone, and the rules had changed. Just when the team thought it couldn't get stranger, the Shade began to speak, not in words, but in mathematics. The faint pulses in the Shade's blackness became structured. Dr. Lena Petrova noticed the pattern, pulses in prime numbers, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, and so on. It was an unmistakable signal, a beacon of intelligence. Prime numbers are a universal hallmark of intelligence. The message was clear: we are here. The discovery electrified the scientific community. This was first contact, not with little green men, but with a shadowy intelligence speaking in logic. The team worked to decode the stream of primes. The sequence was a map, a three-dimensional star chart of a region unknown to human astronomy. It was a set of directions, a cosmic invitation. The implications were breathtaking. Was this a greeting? A test? The prime number signal continued, a steady metronome ticking across the void. It was a whisper from the stars, a mathematical promise of a universe far grander than we'd imagined. The silence had been broken, and its first word was a number. Humanity was being shown the way, but to where? The questions hung in the air, thick with possibility. The Shade was not just announcing its existence, it was inviting us to follow, and the universe waited for our answer. As the world's top minds grappled with the prime number map, a new problem arose. The data began to disappear, subtly at first, then systematically. Only data about the shade was affected. It was as if a ghost was erasing their discovery. Secrecy descended. Government agencies classified everything. Scientists were silenced, teams split, access revoked. Dr. Thorne found himself locked out of his own discovery. The excitement of first contact was strangled by bureaucracy and fear. Then, people started to vanish, quietly reassigned, files locked, voices silenced. The original team was dismantled. The message was clear. This discovery was too dangerous for public knowledge. The remaining scientists worked in fear, using coded language in private channels. The greatest discovery in human history was being buried. Someone was afraid, not of the shade, but of what humanity might do with the knowledge. Working in secret, Eris and his team pieced together fragments of censored data. A deeper analysis of the prime number signal revealed a hidden pattern. It was a complex waveform, meaningless at first. A bioinformatician ran it through a protein folding simulation. The result? The pattern matched a segment of human DNA. It was an echo of our own biology, broadcast from the void. This was no longer just an alien intelligence. It was something intimately connected to us. Was this a message from our creators, or something more sinister? The shade was not just a visitor, it was a mirror. The silence now felt like a knowing silence, the quiet of a parent or a predator. The message was no longer an invitation. It felt like a claim. The final message came without warning. The prime number signal abruptly stopped. The silence that returned was heavier, more final. Then, one last piece of data arrived, an image. The shade was no longer featureless. Its surface was now a circuit board the size of a galaxy, glowing with internal light. At its center, a perfect rendering of primordial Earth as it looked when life first began. The DNA signal had not been a message, it was a signature, a label. The image was a snapshot of the project's beginning. The data stream cut out. The file corrupted itself seconds after saving. The ghost in the machine had delivered its final cryptic message and wiped its own footprints. They were left with a single, impossible photograph and a universe of terrifying questions. The shade was not just an observer or a messenger, it was a creator, a gardener, and the seed it had planted was us. The silence from the void was the silence of an artist stepping back to admire their work, or perhaps a work about to be judged. Today, the official story is a minor gravitational anomaly. The public remains unaware, the scientists are scattered, silenced. For Dr. Thorne and the few who know, the universe has changed forever. They are left with a single photograph that rewrites humanity's story. Was this first contact a greeting, an invitation, or a warning? The DNA signal could be kinship, or a threat. The silence could be the quiet before a storm. We have peered into the void and found a reflection of ourselves, held in the hands of something ancient and powerful. The only question that matters, was that a knock of welcome, or the sound of a clock striking midnight? The silence is no longer empty, it is filled with the weight of that knowledge.